Ma'am, you give me no choice but to assert my dominance upon you.
You're a phony! Hey, this guy's a great big phony!
I know I've pushed this review off for a while, but it had to be done eventually. Megamind 2, or Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate, released about a month ago, and I watched it on the night it released, and you know what? If you want me to be completely honest, it doesn't suck as bad as a lot of people are saying. But while I definitely didn't love it, I didn't despise it either.
For those who are just joining us, that's me, Megamind.
This movie starts with Megamind speaking directly to the viewer, catching you up on all the things that had happened up until this point. So already I assumed that this movie wasn't made for the people who grew up with it. This movie was for a completely new audience, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But what definitely is a bad thing is the fact that they flash back and forth from footage of the movie and footage of this new Megamind model who looks like he's about to get kicked out of a class for harassing women. They even did this in the trailer to distract you from how cheap the new models look, but they ended up just making their models look worse. I will say that the voice actor for Megamind really is trying and does a decent job for someone who isn't Will Ferrell.
Oh, excuse me. I'm looking for a parakeet. It's a gift of appreciation for a friend.
But after recapping the audience, Megamind and Old Chum, that's Minion's new name, are ready to stop some crooks from robbing an aquarium. Megamind starts to reminisce on the good old days of being a criminal, and Minion reminds him, and the audience, that he's only been a hero for 2 days.
It's something the old evil me would have done way back in the day.
Sir, way back in the day was just 2 days ago.
What? He's only been a hero for 2 days? So you're telling me that this movie takes place only 2 days after the original movie? So the events of the movie literally just happened? Because by that explanation of the timeline, Megamind has been dating Roxanne as Bernard, gave Titan his powers, trained him, got dumped by Roxanne, turned on Titan, found Metro Man, fought Titan, almost died to him, and the city had a monument made for Megamind, all in the span of 1 week? And that's just a recap of the movie, because the Megamind Button of Doom sequel was stated to be his first day as a hero. In that, he had a supervillain garage sale, sold all of his extremely dangerous inventions to random citizens, developed a new suit with Metro Man's powers, accidentally, not really accidentally, presses the button of doom which releases a colossal deadly robot with Megamind's intelligence who wants to destroy the city, causes millions, possibly even billions in property damage, takes all his evil weapons back from the citizens, and you're telling me that this all happened just yesterday. Either somebody didn't think this timeline through, or Megamind has a work ethic that puts Batman to shame.
Oh my god, are you crying?
No, it's just raining.
Because despite causing billions in damages at his own hand to Metrocity just yesterday, he's still beloved by everybody. In fact, he's so beloved that he has a fan club full of dedicated fans of his work.
A few weeks ago, I was a middle schooler sitting in detention. Now, I'm streaming a show with 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah. Anyways, here we meet the leader of his fan club, Kiko, who runs the fan club through her smartphone, which is clearly a modern phone, but Megamind took place in 2010. They already established it had only been 2 days.
2 days ago.
Maybe at best a week. I don't know, maybe I'm grasping at straws a little bit, but I just don't think the prop designers really thought that through. But it's not important. Megamind is given the key to the city and
I mean, why not? Right?
gives his acceptance speech, where he then goes on to thank everybody but Minion, which makes Minion feel unappreciated, a storyline that we just had finished from the original movie.
Let me make it clear. Code, I don't need you.
You know what? Code, I'll just pack my thing and go.
We've done this before. Minion starts getting overlooked and feeling like he's unappreciated, and despite just reconciling only 2 days ago over the same issue, they both argue and part ways. The Doom Syndicate then sees that Megamind has been given the key to the city, and they take that as a sign to break out and rejoin him. And while this specific version of the Doom Syndicate looks goofy, they actually weren't that bad to watch. They served their purpose, but again, it's just a purpose that didn't need to exist in the first place. The Doom Syndicate were a part of the plans of the first movie and were originally going to have a role, but were ultimately cut out because they'd make the movie too long and they just didn't fit in. So to compensate, they settled on Megamind being a loner and not having many friends instead, which is an integral part of his character, being his yearning for companionship, which is the reason he loved Minion so much and carried him with him his entire life, as a baby, in prison, in grade school, and even after. In fact, it's only when Megamind starts pretending to be Bernard and starts seeking companionship in Roxanne that leads him to being distant from Minion.
This is about Miss Ritchie, isn't it? You're going on a date with her!
No, my main man! Get out of town!
That was the only reason they were pulling apart. So I just find it a little funny that these characters who were written out, which made the first movie a lot better as a result of it, will be brought back and completely ruin Megamind's origin. His isolation is what led to him using Minion as a crutch and having an over-reliance on his inventions, to the point where he literally starts using them as pets. So while the Doom Syndicate ended up not being a bad team, and while I thought they were fine, they just didn't belong here. Almost none of this belongs here. It's almost like the writers went back to their first draft script and used it for the sequel, instead of creating something that builds on what they had already created. I still contend this movie isn't that bad, but it doesn't give any new life to the franchise. It doesn't appreciate the fans that were there 14 years ago and grew up with this character. It just tries to appeal to new fans, and it even fails at that. Because as someone who grew up with the Megamind movie, I'm just not sure what someone who had never even heard of Megamind could take away from this. Peacock decided to revive Megamind for brand recognition alone, but the people who they were marketing to wouldn't even recognize the brand anyway. But this isn't necessarily the first time that DreamWorks has done something like this. After the release of Monsters vs. Aliens, we got a series on Nickelodeon. After Kung Fu Panda's success, we got a series on Nickelodeon. After How to Train Your Dragon's success, we got a series on Cartoon Network. And in all honesty, I truly believe that if this would have released on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network 12 years ago, that the fans would have been fine with it. The ones who liked it would have saw it as another piece of Megamind to enjoy. The fans who didn't like it would just ignore it and it wouldn't have hurt the brand. The movie is serviceable, and if it would have released on one of those networks at the time when the movie came out, then no one would have been upset. But instead, fans had to wait over a decade while the fan base only grew. And what they got in return was something that not only didn't appreciate their dedication for this 14-year-old franchise, but something that didn't respect the character and the fact that fans waited so long to see him again. Megamind memes were everywhere for the past 5 to 6 years. Fandom alone had kept Megamind into pop culture relevance, single-handedly. While DreamWorks just kept quiet and barely mentioned him, and then they hype up his return after 14 years and completely disregard the people who waited for it. And that, to me, is what makes this movie not work. It's genuinely not a terrible film, and I would have definitely liked it as a kid, but Megamind was never something only kids could enjoy. Most DreamWorks movies, the good ones at least, were made for everyone's enjoyment. And despite the fact that I don't despise this movie like others do, I think they lost track of that. But I know, the creators have stated that they want to make a third movie for theaters, and I'm hopeful that they can fix this and give fans the Megamind they deserve for all of their passion and their patience. But hopefully, they can keep us all, kids and kids at heart, in mind next time.
Being bad has never been so cool, like the mega awesome Megamind Airheads Candy 6-pack.
What's this? Boom!
Savor the chewy, diabolically delicious fruit flavors of the limited time Mega Cherry and Minionade flavor bar.
Won't you join me in some maniacal laughter?
And ask your parents' permission before logging on to airheads.com and perfecting your own genius plan with interactive games and more. Enjoy the superpowers of these super flavors and get out of control with Airheads and Megamind. Rated PG in theaters November 5th.
Wasn't gonna jump. You're a phony. Hey, everybody! This guy's a great big phone!